All right, good morning, everybody. Forgive me, I still sound a little rough, but I can actually speak a little bit today. Let's go ahead and go over our trade plan here. Let me pull up our trade plan from last night. Okay, so we did have a little bit of data come out this morning, which is why we have this big sell-off on that recent candle. Mostly from the ADP non-farm. That was negative 32,000. Excuse me. Over 5,000 positive, so it was a big miss on the non-farm. Cap rate was also lower than expected. Import prices lower than expected. Industrial production as expected. We do have more data coming out at 9:45 and 10 a.m. So watch out for that. There was also, yes, there was also Microsoft news as well. Which I will find the exact headline here in a second, but let's do our trade plan really quick. So yes, the market is reacting a bit bearishly to the data and obviously that Microsoft news. Okay, so yesterday I talked about holding above 51, which is the value high of Tuesday. It's kind of like the range high as well, because we have so much overlapping value. We would look for that breakout into 71 or 81. Also, 63 was a level as well. We're going to bring that down probably a little bit. So we're probably going to bring that down to 31. And then we'll say 51 and we'll leave... No, we'll bring that down. We'll say 63 on that. And then holding below 31, we're going to look for 800, which is that prior low, and then 91. So right now we're just in like a massive overlapping value POC. So we're kind of just rotating the overlapping value. You can see the buyers are coming in where they should be. They should be coming in around that 25.20, which is good. If they are not coming in there, it becomes a breakout, right? So both you're looking at not only the value of like yesterday, but also just the overlapping value entirely. Okay, pretty much the same story on NQ. The only difference on NQ is there's not as much overlap. So it's only overlapping a few days instead of like the last 5 to 7 days. If we do stay above, which I'm going to bring this level down. We're going to use 513 for that above and below level. So if you stay above that, You're going to look for the value rotation back to 645, possibly a breakout into the highs, maybe like 750. And then staying below it, we're going to look for 416, which is kind of already being hit. And then below that, we will look for 255, which is the value retrace of Monday. So for now, you're basically treating it as an overlapping value, kind of a rotation, until we hold value above the range value high or the range value low. You could also just use, for short-term targets, the value of yesterday. So we could look to rotate yesterday as well. It's one of those hard times where we don't know if it's respecting just yesterday's value or the entire range value as well. All right, there you go, guys. I put the trade plan in chat. Keep an eye on VWAP if we do bounce back into it. These point of origins, the local ones, are pretty much the same as the entire range of the last couple of days. So we'll just keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on VWAP here, coming up around 840 and 572. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm not going to read off everybody today. My throat's a little sore. I'm not going to talk too much today. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Still not feeling great. Today's going to be a bit of a short stream. It's going to be pretty much our normal stream. I'm going to be going until probably around like 11:15. And then I have to go back to the doctor, and then I will be back in Discord. I don't know how long the doctor's going to take, so I'm hoping like an hour, maybe. And then I'll be back in Discord. If you guys are a Discord member, I will be streaming in there after that. So there'll probably be like 1 o'clock, 1:30. But yeah, the morning stream will probably go for about 2 hours, and pretty much the normal stream. I just couldn't even speak yesterday. Like, I couldn't talk at all, so there was no stream yesterday. It's nothing serious, by the way. I just have a cold. It's just like a severe cold. It's just hard for stream, right? Like, when my throat's messed up and I'm coughing, I just can't stream. But I'm not dying or anything. I appreciate you guys looking out. It's nothing too serious. Just makes my line of work, the streaming line of work, very hard. Yeah, it seems like this year, well, it's probably every year, but it seems like this year the cold is really kicking everybody's ass. Because when I went to the doctor, it was packed. So many people were there. Yeah, no COVID. I took a COVID test. No flu, no COVID. It's just like the normal, like, seasonal cold. It's just really bad this year. I think they say that every year, though. This is usually how it goes for me. I usually get sick like once a year, knock on wood. I either get like the seasonal cold, like going into the winter, or like kind of coming out of the winter in the spring, and then I'm usually good for the rest of the year. This time was just bad because it lined up with Thanksgiving, so anybody who was sick around Thanksgiving in my family basically were just kind of spreading it around, unfortunately. Hey man, I have the subtitles enabled for as much as YouTube will allow me. So I'm not sure why you don't see them for like certain videos. I have all that turned on. I think the live streams you can't have certain subtitles when I'm streaming in 1440p and I'm streaming at low latency. I think that makes it harder. But as much as YouTube allows me to have them, they are turned on. Unfortunately, if you can't understand that, then I don't know how else to put that. Because obviously you're not getting subtitles, so don't know if you can understand me or not. Not quite hitting VWAP here. You are getting a little bit of absorption on that 30-minute candle. A little bit of exhaustion as well. Falling off in volume very quickly as it's approaching VWAP. Oh yeah, let's go back. What was the exact headline? I saw that Microsoft news. I don't remember the exact headline. Let me find it. If you guys have it, feel free to put it in chat. I'm still looking. Here it is. Microsoft lowers their AI software sales quotas. The drop was partly due to the Microsoft headline and then also just the bad data. There was data coming out this morning that wasn't very good. Here's a bear flag and a VWAP. Excuse me. That is kind of front-running VWAP a little bit. could say, excuse me, you could say there are single prints on this push down on the pre-market. It'd be going up to like the 50s. I typically don't watch single prints during the pre-market though, but that was a very quick move. We are tapping VWAP a little bit here, so still a bear flag and a VWAP. Just not a very good variation because it keeps bouncing off the 24. So it is showing weakness. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Tamer Jose. Good morning, Gabriel. Still kind of rolling off of VWAP here. Not seeing any momentum to the downside, but you could say there's a bit of a absorption on this upper node here. Good morning, Mauser. Good The buyers are coming in where you would expect them to come in, right? We've had the same buy pressure over and over and over again. Even a little bit down here, but that's a bit low. the biggest thing to look for is if that VWAP does hold us down, you would be failing the middle of the range instead of making it back to where all those sellers are coming in, right? So we should be rotating back to like at least 50, maybe 65, right? That's where the sellers should be. So if they're selling early, it's pretty strong to the downside. Well, the wicks are just confirming that VWAP is there. Dow and Russell are probably not as affected because the headline was mostly tech related. The short term, this is bearish because it's failing VWAP. But on the bigger picture, what I was just covering earlier is bearish because you're not rotating back to that high of the range, right? You're failing like the middle of the range. Okay, the VWAP target is finally being hit. The prior low, right? You always look for that prior low that created the pushback to VWAP. So now we have to see if those higher time frame traders kind of take over here, because this is failing to rotate. They're going to need a lot of momentum, though, a lot of volume for sure. Because look at how many times we've bounced here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 trading days. So far, this move down has just been short term. You don't see that massive volume that you typically see when the higher time frame guys start to take over, right? A bear flag and the VWAP hit its target. Once again, buyers coming in kind of where you expected them to. Another reminder for you guys, if you guys watched the Becoming an Apex Trader series, be sure to send me all of your tickets for the giveaway. We're going to be doing the laptop giveaway. I'm going to be pulling the winner this weekend. So make sure to have all that to me by Friday. I will probably be pulling it on like Saturday or Sunday. So just watch basically any of those videos. At the start of the video, I cover all the details on how to get tickets and how to send your tickets. Just make sure to do that before Friday. Or Friday at the latest. You're going to start seeing... I'm going to start emailing you guys just confirming how many tickets you have. And I'm going to be asking for your country, like where I would be sending the laptop. And if you're in the US, your state. I'm not going to ask for your full address or where you want me to send it until you're actually the winner, right? All right, keep an eye on VWAP here. We'll see if we can stay above VWAP this time. Like I said, you didn't really see the volume spike that you want to see if you want those high time frame traders to take over. Yeah, it's not really for the shipping quote. It's just to make sure that I'm not going to have any issues like sending it to that area. Especially for international, there's like a bunch of... I've never shipped internationally, so I'm trying to figure it all out. But there's like a bunch of like duties and fees and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to figure out how easy it's going to be. Make sure that I can actually ship to that location. Now, if you're in the US, it's usually easy. Shouldn't be a big problem. We're not just doing the laptop giveaway though. I'm also doing some Discord giveaways, some Apex giveaways. Yeah, the countries they couldn't ship to is basically all the ones you would expect. that I'm assuming nobody in here is from. This is why I don't do physical giveaways. Physical giveaways are a pain in the ass. We're probably not going to do a physical giveaway for quite a while after this. But I thought it'd be cool since we've never done one. Do a really big giveaway. Okay, now we're back into standard rotation here. Keep an eye on 52. 52 to 64. This is that single print area that I mentioned earlier. Good morning, XP. Liquidity's not terrible. It was pretty bad earlier. We saw a bit of... Yeah, like right here. Had a bit of blue orders. I think that was actually data. Wasn't there data coming out? Yeah, that was the 10 o'clock data. There was 52.6 or 52.0, so a bit higher than expected, which is what's helping this push up here. But liquidity's not terrible right now. How's crypto doing? I haven't looked at it recently. It's still dying. It's bouncing a little bit. You have a weekly blue pivot. That's the first weekly blue pivot since 2022. Are single prints equal to fair value gaps? They're about the same. Fair value gaps is just kind of a concept that was created with the same exact idea of a like LVN single print. It was a blue pivot. It was a bottoming pivot for now. You're holding it as support. It's at 86,800. We're currently at 93,000, so we've already bounced. What, 6%, 7% off of that pivot? It is in a area. It's in an area that could be a stair-stepping pivot, meaning it can break very quickly to the downside. So we need to see a strong bounce off of that. I'm talking about Bitcoin, by the way. We need to see a strong bounce off of that very quickly. So the fact that we're already seeing a bounce is good. Now, I would like it to keep going down, to be honest. Because we're only down 35% from the all-time high. You typically want to pick up your like long-term holdings when you're down from like 40% to like 50, 60%. So this is like right at the zone that you would want to start picking up your long-term holdings. So you want it to go down a bit more. Yeah, that's on the Bitcoin weekly chart. So trying to put in a bulldog here, you have a double bottom, it pops up, puts in the head. The head has to stay above VWAP, which it's kind of already failing to do, so. I don't know about Solana, but yes, it does work for Ethereum as well. Solana, I don't really know the historical percentages of how much it comes back down before going back to all-time high. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're always about the same. It's anywhere from that 40% to like 60%. And obviously every time is unique, but that is the historical like average. And when you're trading long term, you don't really care about being precise. Precision is not really a thing in long term investing, right? You're just trying to ballpark everything. These candles are colored based on delta, not based on an actual candle. That's why they look a little weird. Speaking of delta, you're getting a lot of bearish delta now because those late buyers are being trapped. It is turning into a 30-minute squeeze, and the bulldog has lost VWAP. Yeah, some tariff headlines coming out. You still have the shape of the bulldog, but it really needs to find support on VWAP. It's struggling to stay above VWAP. Keep an eye on this 30-minute close, a little bit early. But if this does play out, if the Bulldog does hold above VWAP, if it turns into a breakout, this is going to be a big single print zone going back down to 40. They're looking for 52 and 64. Those are the upper value levels of this range. 645 is the upper value on NQ. Still seeing no buyer value on the breakout here. You can see all the buildup around VWAP. There's tons of volume nodes around VWAP. But as you push up, you're just not building anything. They had a little node at 45, which is acting as a bearish node. Our volume seems really low. I don't know what it was yesterday, but it does feel quite low today. What happened on this 11 o'clock candle yesterday? I wasn't watching the markets yesterday. Looks like there was a nasty headline or something at 11 o'clock. The volume was pretty low until then. Yeah, it seems like our volume is definitely coming down. Good morning, Sam. The candles are colored based on breaks. So if they break the low or the high. If it breaks the low, it's purple. If it breaks the high, it's yellow. This helps us visualize if there is a one time frame happening, if it's like very trendy in one direction. Trump was speaking at that time, gotcha. So keep an eye on this 30-minute close. You might have a couple of single prints. Nothing crazy. Going back down to 40. So no single prints there. Just kind of holding in this rotation. You can see a pretty much perfect, excuse me, D shape. Going back down to 29 if we do continue to rotate here. Big spike here. Let me see what's going on. I see some headlines about a Trump post, but I don't really think it's market related. More political. He's just talking about like politics and stuff. What else do we have here? Lutnick is done speaking. Maybe that could be part of it. Yeah, not seeing a direct headline. Just seeing a Trump post and then Lutnick is done speaking about tariffs. Maybe the market was waiting for him to be done. Oh, actually, here's the actual headline. Here it is. Sorry, guys, my throat is still not doing too good. Microsoft responds to information report, which apparently was wrong. They did not, in fact, lower their sales quotas. Meaning this entire sell-off candle here, it was partly due to the data coming out, but it was also mainly due to the Microsoft headline. So now we are safe to retrace this candle, basically. So who initially put that report out? Because they obviously were lying or fabricating it. Don't tell me it was Wall Street Journal. You know what I love about all those, like, those fake headlines that move the market? It's never like an immediate correction. It's never like, hey, let's contact Microsoft and let's see if this is actually true. It's always like an hour or 2 hours or the entire day goes by. The market has already like priced it in. You've already had an insane amount of movement. And then they come out and they say, "Oh, wait a second, that was actually that wasn't true." Like, you know, Microsoft has a team of people that are in charge of shit like this, right? Whether you call it public relations or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they know that people are talking about this immediately, within minutes of it happening. And it takes them nearly 2 hours to correct that statement. That's kind of crazy. I think it was CNBC that started that headline, which is not a shocker there. They're also terrible. Like, the vast majority of these, like, quote unquote fake headlines are coming from CNBC and Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal has gotten a little bit better. If you guys remembered watching the stream like a year ago or towards the start of the year, last year, they were horrendous. Oh my god. Like, every single headline that we had come out that did this, where it was like a fake headline that was corrected an hour later, 2 hours later, it was almost always Wall Street Journal. It became a joke in the Discord that we would joke like, "Oh, this was Wall Street Journal. Here we go again." You haven't seen that too much recently. Hopefully they got a little slap on the wrist or something. I just don't know how these people keep their jobs. So we've pretty much retraced that entire Microsoft sell-off. Not really building value above it though, so it kind of just looks like a standard rotation for now. I will say it is it is good to see our volatility is coming down a little bit. It's still pretty high, but it's not like astronomically high like it was for a while. It's getting back to like a normally tradable level. Our average recently has been a little less than 7 points, and we're right around that average. Yeah, look at this back here. You can see the difference in all these spikes here. Our average was 18 points these couple of days here. 13 points, 12, 10, 11. So for quite a while there, we were seeing a big spike in volatility. but thankfully it's coming back down. You want the average to be about where it is, about 6, maybe 5. Getting a ton of bullish delta up here. Look at the clusters coming in. A lot of delta above that 30-minute high, so building higher value here. Retracing that Microsoft candle now that we know the news was bullshit. AMD putting out a statement saying commodities like memory have become tighter. And have you guys seen that in the memory prices? Holy shit, it's insane. So during like COVID, after COVID, that like 4 or 5 year span, basically from 2020 to now, you had that like spike in GPUs, right? GPUs were going crazy. Look at the RAM prices right now. RAM was like disgustingly cheap for the longest time. You could get 64 gigs for like nothing. And now look at the DDR5 RAM prices. You can just go on Amazon, type in any DDR5 RAM, go to the price history, look at the price increase in the last like 6 months or so. They've gone up like 100, 200, 300%. It's kind of insane. So I feel bad for anybody trying to build a PC right now. One of the cheapest parts, normally. The RAM is usually not that bad. And now you're paying damn near GPU prices. That's only for DDR5 though. I don't think DDR4 or below are going up as bad. Putting in a lower high here, or kind of an equal high. You're kind of in a vertical distribution, so keep an eye on that 24 EMA. Mainly, you're just watching this upper node. You lose this upper node below 47, looks pretty bad. Turns into absorption. There's nothing below you. Could come back down to 39, 35 very easily. They need to protect this upper node, which is basically where the 24 is. This is where those buyers need to come in very quickly because you are losing a significant node on the breakout here. If they do not come in, it can fall down pretty quickly back to VWAP. They are at least protecting this upper node here. You're not seeing any value below it. So buyers did come in basically at the lowest possible level they needed to come in. We're almost back to that point of origin around like 58 to 60. But all right, guys, I do have to make it an early stream today. I will be back in Discord probably about like 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30. So if you guys are Discord members, I will be streaming for the rest of the day after a small break. If you guys are not Discord members, I should be back to our normal schedule tomorrow. Hopefully my voice gets back to normal probably by this weekend or next week. But yeah, should be back to normal streams tomorrow. Hopefully. If you guys haven't already, be sure to send me any of your tickets for the giveaway. Be sure to send those by Friday. I will be pulling the laptop giveaway this weekend. And if you haven't sent them already, when you do send them, just confirm what your country is. Or if you're in the US, just confirm what your state is. You don't have to send me your whole address. I'll only ask for the shipping address if you actually win the giveaway. And then if you guys have already sent me your tickets, I will start sending you a confirmation saying, hey, this is how many tickets you've sent me, just confirm yes or no, and can you confirm your country or state? And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoy the streams, hit that like button, be sure to subscribe. If you guys are new here, if you guys just started watching the last couple of days, I am sick right now, so the streams are a little bit weird. I normally stream from 9:30 in the morning to about 11:30 to 12, and then in Discord we stream for the rest of the day, going up till 4 p.m. But I actually have to head out to go to the doctor right now. I'll be back in about an hour or two. Actually, yeah, about 2. So I'll be back around 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., probably the latest. If you guys are in Discord, I will see you guys then. But alright guys, I will see you tomorrow, same time as always. Have a good rest of your day.